Let's make the classic diner sandwich, a patty melt. We have the hamburger patties, cheese, we've got golden toast, and we got a secret sauce to pull it all together, but we can't forget our onions. Let's caramelize these up. We've got 2 yellow onions. We're going to take off the ends. Now it's just Thomas and I today, but we do like sauteed onions. And these will shrink down in size and fit perfectly on our sandwich. So I'm just taking off the ends. Now we're going to cut these into circles. They'll hold better in the sandwich. We don't want to dice them up because they'll just all fall out. And we don't want that. Nice rings here. Now if you want to cut your onion in half and then slice them, you can do that. And we'll finish this one. All right, we're just going to pop these out. Woo! And let's get our pan ready. There we go. We're going to place a medium skillet on our burner. We're going to place it on a medium-high heat. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of some cooking oil. We'll add a tablespoon of butter. Now keep your oil on hand because we may need it to add a little extra along the way. Now once the oil and the butter come to a sizzle, we're going to add in the onions. Now we are going to season our onions with some salt and pepper. About 1/4 teaspoon. We want to flavor along the way. That's good. Now I'm going to coat all the onions with the butter and the oil. And we want to soften these down and give them nice color to them. Right, we're going to place a lid on it. That'll help steam them and soften them down even faster, but we want to get them a nice, deep, dark, caramelized color to these onions. It'll add such a delicious flavor. While that's happening, let's get our hamburger patties ready. In a medium bowl, I have 1 pound of ground beef, and we're going to season that up with some Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse blend. We like this on steak, on hamburger. All right. Now, it doesn't have garlic in it, so we're going to add some garlic powder. You want to flavor up your hamburger patties for sure. Some black pepper. And we're going to go in with a little salt. I'm going to mix this all up. Now you can season with whatever seasoning blend you like for hamburgers. Just make sure it's nice and flavored. I'm going to press it down. I'm going to divide this into 4 so we can make 4 patties. Now the bread I'm using is kind of an oval shape, so we're going to form an oval shape patty. So I'm going to divide it into 4s. And then we're going to take one, just kind of form a ball with it, and then we're going to flatten it out. We're going to make it very thin, and we're going to make it an oval shape. All right, I'm just going to set these on a plate. Now, if you're using the square bread, then you would make just your regular standard round patties. There we go. Let's check our onions. All right, we decided to put 2 patties together and thin them out in an oval shape. That way, once they cook, they'll start shrinking, and we want them to fit on the bread. We're almost there. Don't rush the process. We'll get there. Ooh, look at these. We're going to call these done. I'm gonna let these sit in the pan, and then we're gonna start a new pan for the burgers. All right, let's get this started on a medium-high heat. We wanna get it nice and hot. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of butter. We're gonna flavor it up. Once your butter is nice and hot and starts to sizzle, we're gonna add the burgers in. All right, we're gonna cook about 5 to 7 minutes on one side until they're nice and golden brown, then we'll flip them over. So I'm just using a piece of parchment paper. I'm gonna place it on the burger and I'm just flattening them down a little bit. Get them all nice and even so they cook nice and even. This is kind of in the middle of the 5 to 6 minutes. All right, we're gonna flip them over. Use two, that way you don't splatter yourself. Yeah, another 4 to 5 minutes. They're done. What I did was I flipped it over. I just took a butter knife to it and just went right in the center there, and they're done. We're gonna remove them from the pan. Now I have an oil pan right here that we're going to use to pour out the grease. And then we'll just clean up the pan a little bit and we're going to start toasting the bread. I'm placing my long skillet on my medium heat. I'm going to heat that up. Now we've got our bread laid out. I'm using this right here. It's a dark rye. Generally a rye bread is used for patty melts. You want to have everything ready once you start this, okay? Because you don't want to burn your bread. So we're going to take about a tablespoon of butter and start buttering our bread on one side. And we're just doing 2 of them. There we go. Now we're going to put the butter side down into our skillet because we're making 2 sandwiches. And we want to start toasting them on the butter side right there. 2 pieces of Swiss cheese. Right on top. We're going to put our hamburger patties on top. Yeah, look at that. We're going to get our grilled onions right in the center. Lots of them, right? We made them. Put them on there. Oh, this is going to be so good. We got French fries in our air fryer that we're going to turn on because it only takes about 8 to 10 minutes. See, that was 2 medium onions. Cheese right on top. All right, let's bring our bread over for the top. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that. Here's our secret sauce. It's not really a secret, but there it is. It is Thousand Island dressing. I'm going to blop some on. Plop some on, and we'll take a knife and we're going to spread it on. And then we're going to lay it with the sauce side down on top of the cheese. And we're going to toast these until the cheese is nice and melted. And we got a nice toast to the sandwiches. Okay, we're going to butter the top because when we flip these, we got to toast the other side. That butter will help toast them. Let's turn these over. Woo! There we go. Yay! On the dark rye, it's almost hard to tell, huh? But yeah. I can tell that it's nice and crispy on the top.
Yay!
Get up underneath there and then fling it fast. Now, you don't have to use rye bread. You can use any other type of bread that you want, okay? But this was just a classic for this sandwich. All right, let's take a look. Ooh, look at that melty cheese. Let's check the toastiness of the bread, and then we're gonna give this a try for you. Ooh, look at that. Here comes the onion. There's our classic patty melt, diner style. Let me give it a try for you. I'm going in for my bite. I tell you, those onions, that Thousand Island dressing, the Swiss cheese, the flavored hamburger patty. Wow, that is delicious. And don't forget that dark rye that I used. They have a lighter rye too if you want to use that. All right, you guys, give me a thumbs up on this one. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and that bell notification. That way you'll always know when shows like this one here are posted. I'll see y'all on the next episode. Bye.